From Sedona's energy vortexes to eerie disappearances in the Grand Canyon, the state is crawling with paranormal whispers and strange vanishing acts. Some experts insist it's due to aliens, others argue it's due to cryptids. Follow along for these creepy stories of a yoga instructor that never checked back in and was missing, 3 friends on an adventure that went south, a family vacation that turns into a horrifying experience, a solo camping venture goes wrong, and a strange claim of a man then he vanished without a trace. Welcome to Missing 411, Arizona, where hikers disappear into thin air, strange lights pierce the desert sky, and no one can quite explain what's going on. The Sedona Vortex, Vanishing. In 2017, 38-year-old yoga instructor and spiritual healer Marla Jensen drove from Santa Fe to Sedona, Arizona, for what she called a weekend of energetic alignment. Her friends said she was obsessed with Sedona's infamous vortexes. These are locations said to be swirling centers of metaphysical energy that supposedly amplify spiritual transformation, psychic perception, and, in some cases, complete disappearance. Marla checked into a local wellness lodge just outside of town and documented her entire trip on Instagram. It was everything from crystal shopping to a solo hike near Bell Rock, one of the most famous vortex sites in the world. On her final post, time-stamped just before 4:40 p.m., she stood barefoot on a red rock ledge with the caption, "The air is alive here. I feel electric. I swear something's watching me, but it's not scary really, just different." That was the last anyone heard from her. When she failed to check out the next morning, park staff decided to call the authorities. Marla's car was found parked neatly along the Bell Rock trailhead, with her purse and water bottle still inside. A search and rescue team was deployed immediately. They found no tracks, no signs of a fall and no blood, just the same red dust and stones as always. One hiker who had passed her earlier that afternoon reported something strange. The man had noticed a faint, high-pitched ringing in the air and a momentary white shimmer about 50 feet off the trail, like a heat mirage. He assumed it was exhaustion playing tricks on him. However, after learning of Marla's disappearance, he wasn't quite so sure. Theories range from alien abduction to time slips to Marla stepping into a portal. These portals are said to be natural gateways that exist at powerful energetic sites like Sedona. A few locals theorized that she may have ascended, a term New Age communities sometimes use to describe sudden disappearances near vortexes. Reddit forums were lit up for months. People obsessed over zoomed-in photos of her last post. One conspiracy theory claimed a ghostly silhouette could be seen on the rock formation behind her, though that was probably just shadow play and pareidolia. Or was it? Skeptics point to the dangers of solo hiking, but even they admit the lack of any evidence. There was no gear, no signal, no remains. It kind of makes this case feel off. To this day, Marla Jensen is listed as a missing person. Some hikers swear that on still nights near Bell Rock, you can hear soft chanting or humming, and there's a shimmer in the air that vanishes if you blink too fast. The campsite that never existed. In October 2003, 3 college friends from Tempe, Jason Ruiz, Maya Chen, and Eric Dillard, decided to take a weekend camping trip to the Superstition Mountains. These mountains line a rugged and infamous stretch of desert east of Phoenix. The trio were avid hikers and amateur ufologists who enjoyed chasing rumors of desert lights and ancient cave systems. According to the group's plan, they were going to camp near a marked primitive site they found on a trail map near Peralta Canyon. They left early Friday morning and were expected back by Sunday afternoon. Jason's brother received a text late Friday night from Jason saying, "Made it. Crazy views. Quiet out here. Stars are insane. Found the campsite." However, by Sunday night, none of the trio had returned. When authorities began searching, things got weird almost immediately. There was no sign of their tent, no campfire remnants, no food wrappers, no footprints, absolutely nothing. What searchers did find was their vehicle, a dented Subaru Outback, parked off an access road. The keys were still in the ignition, their phones sitting inside like they had just stepped out for a quick bathroom break. Rangers also found Jason's camera, which he had left sitting on the passenger seat. The photos on the SD card were normal daytime hiking photos, except for one strange image at the end. The photo was rather blurry and had been taken at night. It appeared to show what looked like a triangular light in the sky, and 3 faint humanoid shapes standing on a ridge. A GPS scan of the area revealed nothing. Helicopters, dogs, and thermal imaging found no heat signatures or signs of life. Then 3 days later, Maya reappeared. She was barefoot, dehydrated, and wandering along a dirt road nearly 40 miles from where they were supposed to be. She was barely coherent, and kept asking if the Silvermen had let her go yet. When questioned, Maya described a dreamlike memory of waking up at a different campsite, a strange one with structures made of black glass and no sky overhead. She said Eric was floating, and Jason was talking to voices underground. She claimed something had placed them in a loop, where every time they tried to leave the camp, they found themselves back at the same fire pit. Authorities chalked her story up to sunstroke and trauma, but here's the kicker. A team went to the GPS coordinates Maya gave for the second site, and found no trace of a campsite. No ashes, no prints, no flattened grass. It was as if the place she described never physically existed. Reddit sleuths and paranormal forums latched onto the story. Some say the 3 friends stumbled into a localized wormhole, possibly tied to military experiments rumored to take place in the Superstition Mountains. Others believe it was a classic alien abduction case with memory alteration or time loss. Sadly, Jason and Eric were never found. As for Maya, she never spoke publicly again. She moved states, changed her name, and as far as anyone knows, refuses to go near the desert ever again. The boy who walked into the sky. In the summer of 1999, a family vacationing near Lake Havasu experienced something that still baffles investigators, UFO researchers, and paranormal enthusiasts alike. The Collins family, visiting from Idaho, had set up camp near a remote trail by the lake, away from the RV crowd and houseboat tourists. The Collins' 7-year-old son, Ethan, was playing near the edge of the campsite with his older sister. Suddenly, he wandered off, seemingly fixated on something up above. When his sister asked what he was looking at, he claimed he saw something shiny in the sky. At first, his parents assumed he'd just walked into the brush to chase a lizard or pick up a rock, kid stuff. But 10 minutes passed, then 20, then panic began to set in. A full-scale search was launched within the hour. Dogs, helicopters, thermal drones. They found nothing. No footprints, no drag marks, not even a broken twig in the dry brush. It was as if Ethan had simply disappeared from the face of the earth. But here's where things get even stranger. A couple from Flagstaff, who had been hiking a ridgeline several miles north, claimed to see something that night they couldn't explain. They reported seeing a small figure standing upright at the very edge of a sandstone cliff, not near any known trail, staring directly up into the sky. Above him, a large triangular craft hovered, completely silent, outlined with a faint bluish shimmer. The man claimed the small figure lifted slowly upward like he was being pulled by an invisible rope. They both swore it was a child. They watched, frozen, as the figure ascended straight up toward the craft, until it vanished into the shimmering glow. The craft blinked once, and then it was gone. Authorities dismissed the couple's statement as hallucination, heat stroke, or stress. Interestingly enough, they passed multiple polygraph tests. The woman who witnessed the event was later treated for what doctors labeled as short-term dissociative shock, a condition sometimes seen in people exposed to extreme trauma. To this day, Ethan Collins has never been found. No bones, no backpack, no clothing. It's as if he just somehow walked into the sky. Conspiracy forums speculate he may have been part of some kind of human sampling event, a term used by alien abduction theorists to describe disappearances with no trace, no struggle, and eerie consistency across global reports. Others believe it ties back to the infamous skinwalker activity of the Southwest, where desert spirits or interdimensional beings lure the young or vulnerable into crossing over to wherever they go. Whatever the case, Ethan's story lives on as one of Arizona's strangest and most heartbreaking vanishings. The disappearing drummer. In early May of 2017, a 24-year-old percussionist named Logan Marks was backpacking through Prescott National Forest on a solo camping and field recording trip. Logan was a sound engineering student and part-time drummer from Santa Fe, who was known for using natural acoustics to compose experimental music. According to his sister, Logan had planned to spend 5 days hiking, recording ambient wilderness audio, and journaling about the trip for a blog he was launching. He texted her on the second night saying, "Camped near a beautiful canyon wall. I can hear crazy echoes when I tap on my drum. Might sample this spot. Super chill." That was the last anyone heard from him. When Logan didn't return by his scheduled date, his family alerted rangers. His parked car was found near Copper Basin trailhead, and within 2 days, a search team discovered his campsite. Everything was exactly how it should be. Tent zipped, food bags tied up, campfire out. Even his field recording equipment had been carefully packed away. But Logan himself was gone. Searchers found no drag marks, no animal tracks, no signs of distress. What they did find, however, was a strange series of perfectly circular impressions in the dirt about 15 yards from his tent, spaced evenly like a giant tripod had been pressed into the earth. And stranger still, a small snare drum was discovered about 50 feet away from camp, placed carefully atop a large boulder. One drumstick was jammed upright in the dirt beside it. A local hiker came forward during the search to report hearing a bizarre rhythmic tapping echoing through the canyons late at night. He said it sounded mechanical, not like a typical drum. It was like digital percussion almost, he said, but coming from nowhere. Paranormal forums went wild with theories: alien abduction, interdimensional rift, or even a sonic-based encounter with something non-human. Logan had been experimenting with binaural frequencies and infrasound in his recordings, both of which are known in fringe science to affect human perception, and in some cases, they allegedly open mental gateways. Some theorize he might have accidentally triggered something ancient in the land around him. Others think he simply played one beat too many in front of the wrong entity. I hate it when that happens. As of today, Logan Marks is still listed as a missing person. His snare drum, now warped and weathered, remains in evidence storage in Yavapai County, a ghostly souvenir from a song that ended in silence. The man who claimed to be abducted and vanished. Few Arizona disappearances are as bizarre or as unnerving as the case of Russell Whitaker. Russell was a 36-year-old HVAC technician from Tempe who vanished in 2009 after claiming quite publicly that he had been abducted by beings not of this earth. In the months leading up to his disappearance, Russell had begun sharing increasingly strange stories with co-workers and on online message boards. He claimed that while hiking near Apache Sitgreaves National Forest, he saw what he described as a glassy silver object the size of a barn silently floating between the trees. After that encounter, Russell reported waking up with strange marks on his chest, missing time, and a recurring dream of being strapped to a cold metal table under blue lights. He wasn't exactly quiet about it. He joined several UFO forums, began live-streaming rants about observation implants, and even called into a few late-night conspiracy radio shows. Most people wrote him off as just another tinfoil hat desert guy. But then, on July 11, 2009, he sent his sister a chilling voicemail. His voice sounded panicked, and he whispered frantically, "They're back. I'm going off-grid. If anything happens, check the trail cameras. They watch from the ridge lines." That was the last anyone heard from Russell. His truck was found a week later off a service road near the edge of the White Mountains, about 15 miles from where he had claimed his first encounter occurred. The truck was locked, though the keys were inside. There were no signs of a struggle, but there was a bizarre detail. His phone had been placed perfectly in the center of the dashboard, recording audio. The only thing on the file. 3 hours of total silence, except for a low hum, and occasionally what sounded like whispering in another language. Paranormal investigators believe Russell may have been taken a second time. Some suggest he may have gone into hiding to escape government surveillance. Others say he might have staged the whole thing to disappear on purpose. But here's the kicker. A hunter in 2014 captured trail cam footage of a man matching Russell's description walking barefoot through a ravine at 2:47 a.m. The man had glowing eyes. The footage was analyzed, slowed down, enhanced, and inconclusive. But Russell's sister believes it's him. She insists he's still out there, watching, waiting, maybe not entirely human anymore. His case remains open. His last words echo through UFO forums to this day. They watch from the ridge lines. Whether it's portals in Sedona, the desert swallowing entire campsites, or strange beings watching from just outside the frame, Arizona is more than just hot and dry. It might just be the strangest state in the country. Hit that like button if you're never going camping again, like, and subscribe for more weirdness. And remember, if you see strange lights in the desert sky, maybe don't follow them. On second thought, go ahead and follow them. We'll cover your disappearance in an upcoming video.